Hell yeah, welcome to Morning Skate, episode 352. Your host, Ked, joined by my co-host, Brownie. Brownie, I just figured out a way to add our intro video to this thing, so whenever I hit live, I don't have to now go click on it. So all that, like,
we're live
extra
now.
talking that you talk, where I'm like, okay, we're going live, and then it says live, and you always go, are we live yet? And then it goes into the thing. That will no longer be there. So,
oh, that's one of my favorite things.
Two claps. What's going on, man?
We're live right now, so that means that all the customers that I tell I'm so busy during the day that I can't answer their calls, hopefully none are watching.
And if they are, man, something
Not
came
you.
up.
It wasn't you. It's other people.
Something came up. Yeah. How are you doing, dude?
I'm good. We haven't talked since before the holidays, right?
It's before Christmas, man.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it's officially like
bring all
pond
that
hockey
shit down to the in-laws.
Yeah.
And we never podcasted.
Yeah, it happens. Pond hockey season, which is cool.
Officially.
Been playing at a couple different places. They just flooded the park in Saratoga. And
was that what your post was with the boards outside?
No, that was a different one. That was so I went to two. So the other night I went over to my one buddy's house who he just put a backyard rink in, and it's awesome. Like
that
we
was
got
his
there.
Backyard?
Yeah, we got there and his rink was
Huge.
like it was glass. It was literally glass. We're all talking. We're like, is anybody even on it yet? And he's like, no. And like we're all getting dressed and like we're waiting for him to get dressed. He's like, why aren't you guys out there? And we're like, you're out of your fucking mind if you think that we're gonna be the first people to like step on this, man. Like It was just pure glass. We played until like 12 o'clock at night, and then last night I went to Corinth where I grew up playing hockey, and like it was pretty cool seeing all that shit still. So I see that you were skating, weren't you?
Yeah, my Alistair Poppycock there. He had the kids out, his kids, another family of friends, and my daughter, thanks to Coach Carp, my daughter got the bug because there's a chance that I'm going to get her out on Matthews. Cool. And Carp said that he can make it happen, and my daughter has it in her head that she needs to skate in order to go. She goes, well, I have to know how to skate where the Huskies skate. I go, yeah, that would be better. She goes, I need to skate. And I was like, okay. I mean, I've been waiting 8 years for the call, right? And she wanted to go out there and skate. I zip tied a couple of milk crates together, found her some skates. And the video I sent you, that was about 15 minutes in of her first time ever on skates.
Her first time ever on skates was a pond? Or
yeah, pond, yeah.
It's so cool. Like, that's legendary. Like, she didn't go to like a rink or like that. I think the first time she was skating is where people should skate for the first time.
Well, I just was glad that she biffed a couple of times. She cried a couple of times, but she kept going and said she wants to go again. So I got to go. Let me ask you this. I was going to say this for a beer league, but we kind of walked into it. What's the etiquette with Lost and Found at beer league? Can I go into the Lost and Found and start looking through for pads for my daughter?
I think if you go, I would almost keep an itemized list. Like I would go next time.
Oh, I know exactly what I need.
Right? Yeah, no. But write down everything that's in the Lost and Found, and then go back 2 weeks later. And if that's not snagged, I think it's fair game. Is that what you're saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like give them a couple weeks, and if a couple weeks isn't
fair.
around, then I think it's okay. And then like you're putting it towards something like to your daughter who like needs to like learn how to skate and shit. It's not like you're like grabbing it and putting on like sideline swap or anything like that. So
no, I'm not selling.
In essence, they're paying it forward. So I would say 2 weeks. Itemized list. Go in there, write everything down, sizes, colors. Go back 2 weeks later. If it's there, it's yours.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to talk about, so let's just hop in. Do
you have any resolutions?
Yeah, dude, actually.
Or do you want to save them till later? What are we doing? I don't know what any order.
No, I'll pop off a couple that I have right now. So the first one is quit dipping. So I haven't packed tobacco, like chew tobacco, since the new year. I'm on these Zins.
I feel like you're skirting it there. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm on these Zins.
No free ads, right?
But I'll be on these for a couple weeks, and I'm just gonna stop. I'm pretty pumped. I haven't had a real lip in like 2 weeks. That was kind of cool. No eating past 8:00 at night.
Okay.
I've done it twice, but like maybe if I do it like once a week, it's okay, kind of thing. Because normally, like I'll just shut that shit down at 8:00. 8:00, I'm done, not doing it. And then the
Are
third
you
thing,
doing
really,
like fasting or something? Intermittent fasting? Is that what that is?
yeah, I just want to get in better shape, and like I already feel way better like doing this. So
8:00. Why 8:00?
because if I can, it's intermittent fasting. Realistically, like if it's 8, I only eat between the hours of 12 to 8. I try to only eat between the hours of 12 to 8.
Noon to 8.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's tough. This isn't really what'd you say?
What about coffee and stuff like that?
Coffee's cool. So like I can have black coffee, which is the only coffee I drink anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into not buying energy drinks. I'm trying to not do that.
Okay.
Like before New Year's happened, I was like, I really need to get in and see the eye doctor. I haven't seen the eye doctor in forever. I did it last year. I did it like December 28th. So I didn't even have to do that for the New Year's. Check that one right off my list. And this isn't really a resolution. It's just more or less like just a goal of mine is I want to buy a duplex. I think. I think that's the next big step in my life is to buy a duplex, live on one side, rent out the other until that's paid off, and then buy a house. Like that would be
the only pitfalls you have is that you're the super.
Right. So right? And so my question for you is I can choose who I want to live there, right? Like I can't is it
well you can't like if someone comes, I don't know, every state's different, but like
I got to be able to fucking decide who I want living there because that's asinine.
You have to be careful though because you can't discriminate against someone.
It's not really discriminating against somebody, but if somebody shows up and they smell like shit you can just tell like
I said that wrong. Like I don't think you would discriminate, but you have to be careful that you can't be called for discrimination, if that makes sense.
Right. And that's kind of what, so if this ends up happening, I'll probably like open it up to like, it'll only be like word of mouth. Like, I don't even know if I would like list it immediately.
You must have a friend who's a realtor.
Yeah, I can figure it out. I mean, dude, I need to save up money first. This probably won't happen for a couple of years, but like that's my next big goal in my life. And I think that'd be I think it's a great goal. What are you drinking there?
Just a polar seltzer.
Okay. Have you ever had any of those heirloom things? My buddy's been talking about it.
Heirloom? Like
they're weed drinks. Have you ever heard of these things?
I have weed drinks right here, but they're not. Hold on. Let me see what it says.
Apparently, they come in like a can that looks like a seltzer.
Yeah.
And this is like the new phenomenon around like here, I guess. Phenomenon? Did I know that?
Phenomenon, yeah. No, this is something different. I mean, that's
all right. We'll talk off air.
How pathetic! How fast I could pull up a weed.
That was impressive. Yeah, and then I think that's kind of New Year's.
That's a pretty good list of resolutions or goals.
Attainable stuff. I'm pumped. I haven't packed a lip, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Zins, that's that." No, it's not. This is pussy shit. This is it's a big step for me. I've quit before. I don't know if I remember telling you the story, but I quit for like 4 months, and then me and my buddy, I got Yankees Red Sox playoff tickets.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find anybody to go with me, and I was like, Rack, you want to go? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, the only thing is you have to drive. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm in. I'm like, perfect. So the kid picked me up, pull over to the gas station. I haven't chewed for like 4 months. It's a weekend. I'm like, well, I'll just get a 10 and like I'll just chew on weekends. Nope, that doesn't work that way. So trying to keep it keep it tight. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Oh, dude. I'm heavy into NHL 25, the video game.
Video game?
Oh yeah, we've been playing that a lot. Like that's like the nightly ritual now. Now like I go to work, I get home, I play like 3 games and I go to bed. It's awesome. I like look forward to it. It's all my friends online. We all have headsets.
Play as the same team all the time?
Yeah, we have like a club. So
no. Do you on the game play as the same team?
So you make your own club, and then you and your friends join your club. And then you get to pick and then you get to pick what positions you want to play, and you're all on the same team and you play against other people.
Oh, interesting.
But it can get really fucking funny. Like it's a good time. So I've been doing
that. You're all like on headsets talking to each other and stuff?
Yeah. We even got Fever Boy Rex in. It's been good. So it's those are what are your resolutions?
I only had 2, well, 3 technically, because every year I say I'd like to get Riley on skates. So I mean
nailed it.
Yeah, but I can't really take credit.
No, count it. That counts. That counts.
And then my other two, one is psilocybin has been decriminalized here in Massachusetts, which is mushrooms. So I want to get into mushrooms. One, reintroduce myself, I guess, to mushrooms. And then two, I got this from the GM of the PWHL fleet and from the head coach of the Quinnipiac women's team. That whole say yes to things, when I interviewed both of them, it was so Danielle, the GM of the fleet, she told me the say yes was Coach Turner, Cass Turner. That was her thing. And when I interviewed Coach Turner, she said the same thing. So I've tried to adopt that. So instead of being like, I'm not doing that or no thanks, I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying. Yeah. So I'm going to say yes to, that's my, I figured instead of making these ridiculous.
Brownie, you want to give me $1 million?
Yeah, sure, buddy. If I had it,
I'll give it back, dude.
So yeah, I figured I'd make a couple easy ones and see if they're attainable.
I feel like resolutions people really swing big, but like when you kind of do smaller ones, it does make you feel better because you can accomplish it, you can check it off. So like I would suggest if you do New Year resolutions, I would do 5. I would do 2 relatively easy, achievable ones, 2 that you're gonna have to work for, and 1 that you don't think that you could ever do.
Oh,
and
that's
then that way you kind of work your way up. That was right off the top of the head.
Pretty good.
That so
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So you want to get into hockey?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Fire it up.
Right, Mea Culpas.
Hi, this is Mea Culpa, and I'm here to introduce the Morning Skates Mea Culpas with Kat and Brownie.
Oh, yeah, dude. Shout out to Mia. Not only did she chirp me about the Bruins losing to the Kraken, she also went to the PWHL takeover tour that played out there. So she's into hockey now.
That's kind of sick, dude. Like, was she into hockey before?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's say she wasn't. We made that happen. Hell yeah, dude. Oh
yeah. Ashton Genty, our old friend, the running back, him and Boise State, they lost to Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. He had 104 yards on 30 attempts, which gave him 2,601 rushing yards on 374 carries, which is a 7-yard average for the season. He also had 138 yards reception on 23 catches and a total of 30 TDs for the season. Not a bad season. I think he was runner-up in the Heisman. So good on you.
Good on you.
This is the Loch Ness Monster cousin. There's reportedly an American relative of the Loch Ness Monster living in Lake Champlain known as Champy. There have been over 300 sightings of the monster. That's near you, right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit north.
Oh, and these 2 fucking astronauts, Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, are still trapped on the ISS International Space Station and will be in space for, quote, a few more months until NASA can get them a new spacecraft to go home. This was supposed to be an 8-day mission.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Love the name Butch, though.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like an astronaut, right?
Yeah.
There are still 4 monkeys on the loose in South Carolina. Apparently, they are living together and helping each other avoid capture.
So how do they know if they're living together if they're avoiding capture? If they're avoiding capture, well, how do you know they're together?
Well, I guess they're spotted a number of times. And then Boxing Day, it originated in England and is still celebrated in many of the Commonwealth nations, including Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. It is celebrated on the day after Christmas, 12/26, and it was originally thought to be a day to give gifts to the working class that had to work on Christmas Day. So you box it up and
did you see it?
Kind of nice, but it speaks to a class welfare system, a class.
Did you see that one meme that somebody put out? So Trudeau is out in Canada, and it was like the lack of goaltending on Team Canada is the reason.
Oh yeah, I did see that. We'll talk about Canada when we get to the Northeastern section. Big news coming.
All right, NHL in the news. Let's hop into it. So if you know hockey at all, you would have saw this coming. Colorado has somewhat improved their goalie room now that the Wood brothers are in town. In their last 11 games played, Mackenzie Blackwood is 4-1-0 with a .940 save and 1.82 goals against, while Scott Wedgwood is 4-2-0, .932, 1.93 goals against, 1 shutout. Colorado Stanley Cup's back on.
Yeah, these numbers are a little dated. They're probably a week old, but still, the points made.
Yeah. Sucks. Sorry, Georgiev. Piece of shit. Buffalo. The Sabres have lost more games since November 27th, 18 than the Bills have in their last 3 regular seasons combined.
That's tough.
That is tough. Detroit turfed head coach Derek Lalonde 89, 86, and 2, and brought on Todd McLellan as interim. The club is currently 7-1 under McLellan. And when asked about coming to Detroit, he answered, "I was bored as hell sitting at home." Detroit,
old school gruff coach.
I saw Larkin get into it with Capo Caco the other night when they were playing the Kraken. Capo Caco, by the way, is this on here? I didn't see it.
No.
Since he's been on the Kraken, 11 games played, 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. So.
I will say I saw the video of Larkin when they were the game of the week, and he got the Hockey Night in Canada towel.
Yeah.
How excited he was! That was awesome. I like Larkin. He's grown up over the years. Yeah,
definitely. For sure. Club hockey, the UNLV Rebels Acha Division I upset the defending national champ Denver Pioneers during the week between Christmas and New Year's in a 7-6 shootout. First ever win against the D1 program. They led 5-1 going to the third despite being outshot 39-12. The Rebels goaltender Jeremy Foreman was having a game. Denver tied the game with 3:23 left in regulation, but then captain Matias Del Monte potted the clincher in the shootout. Sick name. Makes sense.
So what's M1? Does that mean men?
I think I think it's like men's Division I.
Oh. So what's the drop off? You played Acha, right?
It's a pretty sustainable drop off. I don't know how they did that. I mean, it's been years. Right, it's been a while since I played, and I think club hockey's gotten significantly better. Like, there's a lot more people that think Division III. Like, I'd rather go play at a 6 school than play D3 and like the senior.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's kind of happened. I mean, it's pretty crazy that happened.
So you could make the argument then with the Canadian leagues allowing their kids to go NCAA that the club level will get even better, probably.
Yeah, I think and I might be wrong. I might get torn apart on the internet for this, but I think if you take the Acha's best team against the best Division III team, I think the Acha team's going to smoke the D3 team.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think if you take the best Acha team and they just beat the defending champs, dude. So
yeah, one game though, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Still great. Hey, great story.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah. We got some trades in the NHL. Pittsburgh sent Bennett MacArthur to Buffalo for Colton Pullman. And in the PWHL, the Ottawa Charge sent Savannah Harmon and Haley Skimura to Toronto for Jocelyn Larocque and Victoria Bach. Just a couple trades.
The PWHL trade is a pretty big deal because Larocque's been, I'll probably get this wrong, but I think she's been on 4 Olympic teams for Canada. She's 34, 35 now. Mm-hmm. So, she's probably middle pair, I guess. What was nice though for Larocque and Bach is that they both figured into their goal at the first game with the new team.
Yeah, I love seeing that.
Yeah.
Cool stat time. Connor McDavid moved into 3rd place all time for points for the Oilers when he passed Mark Messier last week. The list is now Gretzky with 1669, Curry with 1043, McDavid with 1036, and Messier with 1034.
For all I know, this is an old stat. McDavid might have caught Curry, although I think I would have seen it by then.
I think McDavid's got a pretty good shot if he never leaves the Oilers to fucking take that record.
Yeah, he does.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
More Edmonton, Leon Draisaitl became the 5th player in Oilers history to record 10 consecutive 30-assist seasons, joining Mark Messier as 11, Connor McDavid has 10, Glenn Anderson has 10, and Yari Curry has 10.
It's crazy.
That's another name that could end up popping up on that list.
Yeah.
Today. Connor Hellebuyck became the 3rd fastest goalie to 300 wins with 538 games played behind Andrei Vasilevsky had 400 and Jacques Plante had 521. To round out the top 5, Sergei Bobrovsky only took him 541 games played, and Andy Moog 543 games played. Hellebuyck is the fastest U.S.-born goaltender to achieve the milestone, ahead of Ryan Miller with 566 and Jonathan Quick with 575. So,
yeah, the only name that really surprised me on that list was Moog, actually. Forgot how good he was.
Sergei Bobrovsky kind of surprises me because, I know he's good, but I never look at him and the pinnacle of Bobrovsky was an elite goalie,
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, but
good years, but he also had some really bad years.
Yeah, true.
World Junior USA is back on top, man. They got the W over Finland. It goes back to back at World Junior for the first time ever. In the consolation game between Sweden and Czechia, that's right, Czechia and Sweden, no Canada to be found, set an IIHF record with 28 shot attempt shootout, the longest in history. Oh, wait, I didn't even know that. They went to a shootout that went 28 shots?
28 rounds.
14 rounds.
Was it? I thought it was 28 rounds.
Well, if it's 28 shots, it'd be 14 rounds.
Yeah, but that's me typing. I could have.
All right, well.
Yeah, I'll make a mark because there's our mea culpa.
Latvia, well, actually, USA getting the W was cool. I watched that game. They fell behind, battled back. That Ryan Leonard man's a pit bull. Like, he does a lot of complaining, though. I don't know if you watched any of this. I think that you probably would have hated him. He does a lot of hands up type shit, but he is a hard-nosed player. He forechecks hard. The USA, they had Gabe Perreault, Ryan Leonard, James Higgins. That was like their big line, right? And then they had a couple defensemen that were pretty good. The Hudson kid, who's the brother of the guy on the Canadians. And then they had another one. I think it was like Boo something. Those two were pretty good. Their forwards, they had depth. Like, they forechecked really hard. The Eiserman kid, he was drafted by the Islanders. And they had another Nelson kid that the Islanders also drafted. They chipped in. The Freebird goal song's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. When I found that out, I was like, is somebody like punking me right now? Because this is.
I thought it was fake at first also.
Yeah. Unbelievable. One of them was asked if they had heard the song before and they said no, and now they know every word. That kid I wouldn't draft.
Do you ever see the videos where they play like 70s classic rock for millennial or I don't know what generation this is, and it's like, like Black Betty, and they're like, "What is this?" Or
I don't know how that kid didn't know what Freebird was. Like, what are you listening to the rink when you're a kid?
Like, my daughter probably wouldn't know some songs, just by age.
Freebird's classic, though.
I agree.
But good on them. Cool that they ended up winning that one overtime. I did have a qualm. I think 3v3 for the gold medal is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, just keep going. Just keep playing. Yeah.
Why is it 3 versus 3? Like, you knew that game was going to end soon. Like, because I was playing Chell with the boys, and I'm like, okay, overtime's about to start. And I was like, I was like playing, but then I had my phone here with the game on. And I like looked down. I'm like, guys, there's only fucking 3 people on the ice. So like, no. So we like just stopped playing because we knew it was going to end soon.
Yeah, that's the IIHF. Yeah.
So I'm watching it on like Fubo. My buddy's watching on the stream, and my buddy's probably like 3 minutes behind me. So I'm like, oh, and he's like, no, what happened? He's like, pause it. So I paused it. We ended up being normal, but then somehow his game got in front of mine. So now I'm listening to him, and I'm like, no, we're not having that. So I just went full live. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that game. So it was pretty cool. Latvia had their own miracle on ice when they defeated Canada, and a great story in that. On December 27th, 2023, Latvian goalie Leonards Feldberg was pulled after allowing 7 goals on 31 shots on goal and a 10-0 loss. Exactly 1 year later, he stopped 55 of 57 shots to force a shootout where he went 8 for 8 and backstopped Latvia to that 3-2 victory. So, comeback story.
That kid's they're going to make a movie about him in Latvia.
Yeah. They also released the 2025 Hall of Fame class. Henrik Lundqvist, Franz Nielsen, Kim Martin Hassan, Zdeno Chara, David Viborny, Vicky Sunahara, and Kay
Hedorenta.
Sure. Builder category. I was surprised about Franz Nielsen, but I guess it kind of makes sense because he was probably a pretty big player for his country.
Yeah, huge.
And
I was going to put in all of Chara's stats from the IIHF, but then I figured you would call bias because I didn't put in Lundqvist, so I didn't do it.
I appreciate that. Some pretty good names on there. Speaking of another pretty good name, Sidney Crosby tied, then passed Mario Lemieux for most assists in Penguins history. Upon tying Mario, Sid said, I dreamed of playing in the NHL, and I'm grateful for that and for all these years, but I don't think about where I'm at on the list. To be with Mario, though, that's pretty cool. I never would have expected that. There was a Sidney Crosby post that I saw recently that was fucking awesome. I forget what had happened. He like signed something for somebody, and the guy didn't know. I try to remind me. I'll see if I can find it for next week.
Yeah.
Boston extended Mark Hasselbeck 25 for 3 years at 1.567. The team also placed Tyler Johnson on unconditional waivers for the purpose of terminating his contract and probably bringing back Brian Giunta for the playoff push. The Boston Bruins.
They're saying that Kaslick signing might be the end of Frederick's time here, which would be unfortunate, but
it's tough.
We'll see. Yeah.
Nashville, not to kick them while they're down, but coming into the season, Stamkos was coming off a 40-goal season. Marchessault was coming off a 42-goal season. And Philip Forsberg was coming off 48 goals. The team is currently dead last in goals scored above expected. So, it's weird. I think the moves they made in the offseason, other than the Brady Shea one, were good moves, but now they didn't work. So now what do you do? Do you just sell and rebuild? Like, I don't.
Well, the low-key one was McDonough leaving. That might have been,
Yeah.
That's a big piece.
Yeah. Alex Ovechkin is back and 23 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record.
He may be closer, actually.
He was only back 40 days after breaking his leg. He also became the second player with 20-plus goals in 20 consecutive seasons, joining Gordie Howe. Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
He's going to do it. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, unless something unforeseen happens.
That's pretty cool. NHL Outdoors 2026, Florida will host the Rangers for the Winter Classic on January 2nd, and Tampa Bay will host Boston for the Stadium Series on February 1st.
Yeah, so the Rangers game is at the Miami Marlins Stadium, baseball stadium. So I can understand because they can close the dome, right? Mm-hmm. Have it be a controlled environment for the ice surface. But the Bruins at Tampa at the Lightning, that's at where the Bucks play. That's outdoors.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like playing in a game like that would be fucking miserable with how much.
I think the experience would be cool, especially. I mean, it's going to suck
your ass off.
It's going to suck for the Bruins because they're gonna, if the Lightning score, they're gonna fire off that the cannon from the ship in the end in the end zone. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Hey, whatever. It's something different. I don't see how this is going to work, but good luck.
Cam Fowler,
they'll give you a big pop-up, like those pop-up tents over the ice to keep the sun off.
Yeah, right. Just like one of those things that you see at like concerts and shit that people put up. Yeah. Cam Fowler played in his 1,000th game, became the first ever to do so in an outdoor game, and of course he scored. The Windsor, Ontario native. That can't be real because he's American. Oh, there it is. Okay, the Windsor, Ontario native was drafted 12th overall by Anaheim in 2010. Spent 15 seasons with the Ducks before joining St. Louis Blues. His stat line is 100, 366 for 466 points. In 1,002 games played, 265 PIMs. He has dual citizenship and represented the U.S. internationally and won Memorial Cup with the Windsor Spitfires in 2010. He's also won gold at World Juniors, gold at IIHF U18s, and silver for Team Canada at the U17s. This guy's a flip-flopper. I'm out on him, but good on him. 1,000 games.
Pretty cool to do it in an outdoor game, too. It's gotta be cool.
Yeah. The Hershey Bears broke the world record for the teddy bear toss when Mike Scarbosa scored the 14:45 mark of the first period for the visiting Providence Bruins. The final tally was 102,343 stuffed animals, which destroyed the old record of 74,599 set in 2024. It took 45 minutes for the ice to be cleared, and after doing so, the Hershey Bears ended up winning 5-1. Crazy.
A lot of Bears. A lot of stuffies.
Yeah. Colton Dock made his NHL debut for the Blackhawks against the Montreal Canadiens and his older brother, Kirby. Love seeing stuff like that.
Nice thing for the Doc family.
Macklin Celebrini is stacking up historically as well. How does he compare to the last 10 overall picks through 22 games played? McDavid, are these goals? I'm assuming McDavid or points maybe. Points. Yep. McDavid had 26, Celebrini 22, Bedard 19, Matthews 18, Heischer 16, Dahlin 11, Hughes 10, Power 10, Slavkovsky 6, and Lafreniere with 7. The Celebrini kid's fucking nasty, man.
Yeah,
he's really, really, really
makes
good.
The games worth watching, like you had said.
Trivia: who is the only player to be on a team with Gretzky and Ovechkin?
One guy, and he said it in a joke. He's like, "Wait, am I the only one?" And it turned out he was.
Can you give me forward or
like this guy?
Can you give me forward or D?
Forward, power forward.
Well, you got to figure Gretzky's last team was the Rangers.
There you go.
So I think he would have to be on the Rangers.
Yep.
Ovechkin's always been on the Caps.
Yep. This guy also played for the Bruins.
Shit, man. I don't have a fucking clue. Who is this?
Mike Knuble.
Wow. That's
good trivia.
That's a really, really good one. Damn, that's a good throwback name. Knubel's good.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Jaromir Jagr and one other player in the history of the NHL have a hat trick at the age of 18 or younger and age 36 or older. Who else? 18 younger, 36 older. Hat trick. Yeah, I'm not gonna get this one either. Who is this one?
One of the members of a family you dislike.
It's Eric Stahl.
Jordan.
Damn. Wow. I knew it was the Stahl brothers. As soon as you said that, I was like, yep, that gave that one away.
Another pretty good. Those are a couple of pretty good trivias.
Yeah.
I put this list in here just to we can argue over it.
All right. Sportsnet released their top 25 players of the 2000s. 1 through 25 goes. Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, Nicholas Lidstrom, Martin Brodeur, Nathan McKinnon, Pavel Datsyuk, Nikita Kucherov, Patrick Kane, Victor Hedman, Jerome McGinley, Chris Pronger, Patrice Bergeron, Scott Niedermayer, Austin Matthews, Duncan Keith, Leon Draisaitl, Drew Doughty, Evgeny Malkin, Jonathan Taves, Joe Sakic, Joe Thornton, Zdeno Chara, Anze Kopitar, and Carey Price. Yeah, I have some qualms about this.
My first qualm is that you should do a separate one for the goalies because it's hard to quantify.
I do too. I'd have Hank over Carey Price.
Brodeur should be number one on this.
I'd have Hank over Carey Price easily.
Yeah, either way, but I don't think goalies should be on this because I feel like it's hard to quantify. Like, who's going to be more important to you building a team, Martin Brodeur or Sidney Crosby? Right? You know, I mean, that's how you got to look at it.
I also don't like that there's a lot of names above Patrick Kane. Like, I'd take prime Kane over prime Kucherov. I'm taking prime Kane.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I would take, it's the Lidstrom's kind of high also.
I'm okay with Lidstrom because I do think Lidstrom is the best defenseman from that era. There are some fucking names on here, though. Like, Austin Matthews is pretty fucking low.
I thought he was kind of high for not doing it. What's he ever done or won?
I mean, he scores a shit ton.
But you saw how he stacked up. Celebrini had more points in his first 10 than him. He's not mentioned with the stuff we were talking about with McDavid and Draisaitl. So, yeah, I think he's high on this list.
It's an interesting list. Like, is Chara on here?
No, he is. He's down at
23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's one of those things. Like, everybody's going to have their own different lists, and it all depends on what you value and, you know, what you like to see. But I thought it was interesting, so that's why I put it on there.
Yeah, that is pretty fucking crazy. All right, let's dump and change, man. Let me play this music.
All right. First off, RIP to former President Jimmy Carter, who passed away at the age of 100. Maybe not the most well-respected president while in office, but arguably the best person that a president was after office. I don't think anyone can argue that with the amount of stuff he did in terms of building homes and married for the longest time to the same woman and everything. Just a super nice guy.
Did you see like the any of the clips from the funeral?
Yeah.
There was one kind of funny one, I thought. Obama standing up and George W. walks in and just kind of slap.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast that was talking about that, and they said that's like George W. Is he W. Bush?
Yeah, George W. Yeah.
They said that's very much George W. Bush's vibe. He's like a frat boy.
Oh, 100%. Do you remember that one clip of him where he's like, and we are going to stop the war on terror. And he's at like a golf course. And he goes, now watch this drive. And then he drops the ball. Like a super serious press conference and then just hammers the ball down the
the funny thing they were saying, they were just glad that he realized the situation and it wasn't a dick tap. Because they were like, I wouldn't be surprised if he dick taps Obama when he sees him.
That was like that kind of humanized. I always think George W. is like pretty humanized. Like I just think like he was a president, but I don't look at him as if he was a president because he was just kind of like a goofball. Like he was just kind of. So that made a lot of sense to me. That made me laugh really fucking hard. I'm like they're supposed to be so professional. It's like, what's up, Barack? Like a quick tap on him, man. That made me laugh.
And then R.I.P. to Ricky Henderson, who passed away at the age of 65.
Dude,
Ricky Henderson.
this guy's stats, dude. If this guy was in the major leagues right now, I wonder what his contract would be.
Oh, it would be unbelievable. He arguably the best leadoff hitter and best
not
base
even
runner in the
arguably.
history
Definitely.
of baseball.
Definitely.
I meant arguably in terms of the base running. Still, you say yes? I don't really watch baseball.
Both leadoff and base running. There's nobody like him.
Some funny stories about Ricky Henderson. He talked about himself in the third person all the time, which somehow wasn't annoying when he did it. I saw some interviews.
There was one where it's like, it's not John 16, it's Ricky, and it's not 316, it's 380, which is what I'm betting next year or something like that.
Yeah. And then there was the one where he got like $1 million signing bonus and he framed the check.
Yeah, he never cashed it. Yeah.
And the accountants were like, dude, what are you doing? And then the one that I thought was the best was, you remember John Olerud?
Yeah.
And he wore the batting helmet when he was in the field.
Yeah.
And he was on, Ricky Henderson was on first and Olerud was playing first. And Henderson said to him, he goes, hey, I used to play with a guy who wore his batting helmet in the field. And Olerud was like, yeah, Ricky, that was me. We were teammates. I thought that was a great story. Yeah, I think we were together on the Mets or something. Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. This is not Connor McDavid. This is Connor McGregor.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what?
Connor McDavid needs to make some cash. Connor McGregor is set to earn $250 million in a mega fight as part of India's Visit India campaign in Mumbai when he takes on Logan Paul in an exhibition boxing match. At what point are people going to stop paying to watch Logan Paul make money?
I think he's the ultimate promoter. He's the ultimate marketer. And I think this just shows that there's a lot of really stupid people in the world.
Fair. Mike Evans tied Jerry Rice as the only two players to achieve 1,000 yards receiving in their first 11 consecutive seasons. Evans did it on the last play of the last game of the Tampa Bay Bucks season, the regular season. Yep. So I was watching this game and I knew I like Evans. Always have liked him. He's a tough motherfucker. And he got one called back, which would have put him over earlier. Mm-hmm. And Bucky Irving, the running back, scored a touchdown and immediately went up to Evans like, I'm so sorry, because that was the end of their series. Yeah. So they didn't think they were going to get it again. He needed, I think, like 4 yards. So they ran one play and he did like a post for like 7 yards. And the cornerback was so far back off him, they were just like, get it. So
that's cool.
It was a little hokey how he did it, but he also missed 4 games because of injuries. So it's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah.
For him. And he's, like I said, hell of a player. Dean Smith, who died in 2015, left $200 to each of his former UNC players in his will so they could enjoy, quote, a dinner out on him. The trustee reported to ESPN that checks were sent out to about 180 ex-players 5 years ago. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So that's like $3,600. I mean, not, pretty good.
I think that's 36,000.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Save. Nice.
I got you, dude.
On 12/23, I don't know if you saw this video. This kid, Alessandro Alo is what it's called, Seabird, made history when he rode a 108-foot tall wave off the coast of Santa Cruz. The wave was caused by a winter storm that snapped the Santa Cruz Wharf from its moorings, but was creating tremendous swells at Mavericks near Half Moon Bay. The 23-year-old surfer had caught approximately 20 waves prior to his record center. And in the interview, he was like, yeah, I saw it coming. I just started riding it. And it just kept going and going.
That was going to be my question. Like, do you think that like they're like, this is the one, or do you think they get on it and the thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger? And then at one point, do you think they're like, oh,
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you can see him coming. You can see the sets coming, but you can't tell an individual wave if it's that far out.
Yeah. And
then when he gets on it, as the water's pulling in and it keeps going higher and higher, at that point, you can't bail because you'll get destroyed.
Yeah. That's crazy.
This thing is like riding a skyscraper. It was insane. Yeah. And he was the most surfer dude you've ever seen. He was like, I just want to get back out there, bro. Yeah, it was fun. It's a good video. It's a good video.
Speaking of just wanting to get back out there, bro, I want the Rangers to keep playing more hockey, dude. We've won 2 in a row. We're back. I'm just kidding. They have no shot still, but they have been playing better hockey. They sent Berard down, which I fucking can't stand. I don't know why they would do that. But
how was Rempe in his game that he came up? It was a big deal. He was
God, he looks like a dog that has a muzzle on, dude. Like you
He
can
was
totally
saying, I saw an
tell.
interview, he was saying, he's like, I got to be careful. I can't make big hits.
Oh, dude, dude. He looks like a dog that's been like beat a billion times, and somebody goes over to pet it, and he wants nothing.
And he
to do with it.
flinches.
Yeah, dude. You can tell like he just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Which is okay because I don't want him to get suspended again, but they need to. I don't know. Shesterkin's back. Zibanejad scored some goals, but like he's still just a giant fucking diva in the D zone. I can't stand it. Keandre Miller stinks still. There's a lot of changes that are going to be made with this group, but that Will Borgen guy that we got for Capo Caco has impressed me. He's tough as shit. I think they could actually move him for a first rounder at the deadline, which would be kind of nice. Yeah, so I mean, they just have to keep winning, I guess. I don't know. There's no other option. So, and they beat the Knights. The Knights are the number 1 team in the league right now. Who they got tonight? I think they got the Avs. Let me look. No, they don't play tonight. They play tomorrow. They play the Avalanche tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Panarin's kind of scoring a little bit. They definitely look way better. Like when they were losing all those games, it literally looked like nobody wanted to play. Now it kind of looks like, that they were playing like they were last year. Started with the Devils game. They took them to overtime. They won in overtime. Sam Carrick, hilarious. I remember I'm watching the game. Carrick and Riley Smith are on the ice. I look up and there's like 3 minutes left to go in overtime. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like Connor Bedard's not Connor Bedard, Brett Berard's on the bench. Like they have like that Kaliev kid. Like they have like younger guys that like to shoot the puck. I'm like, Sam Carrick and Riley Smith. I'm like, fuck this team, dude.
Riley Smith's still pretty quick. I don't know about Carrick, but Riley Smith
stinks, dude.
Doesn't he still have wheels? I thought he still had wheels.
I just don't think he's a good hockey player. I want to have him out there. And I'm watching the game by myself and I audibly say out loud, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Jack Hughes is going in. Sam Carrick pokes the puck away. They go 2-on-1. Riley Smith to Sam Carrick for a one-timer for a goal. And I'm like, what just happened? Hop on the sticks with the boys. My buddy Tony. I have a friend named Tony Soprano. I think I've told you.
I know you've talked about him all the time.
I go, we both get on like
Cowboy, right? Isn't that Cowboy?
Yeah.
Which is not a cowboy type name, but go ahead.
So he gets on and I go, dude. And he goes, dude. I'm like, why were they on the ice? And he goes, I was just gonna ask you why they were on the. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, they won a couple games. They just had to keep winning. They are playing better hockey, but like, I don't think the roster is where it needs to be to compete. But at least they're trying, which is so pathetic that I say that. But
hey, it's better than not trying.
Yeah, I suppose. So that's what I have with the Rangers. We'll see what ends up happening. What do you got with the Bees? I heard the Bees aren't playing too well, bud.
No. So this is historically bad. They dropped 6 out of the last 7 before they beat Florida Saturday afternoon. All right, so I have some numbers here.
Numbies.
What? Oh, goals scored a game. They're 28th in the league. Points 27th. Power play percentage 30th. Penalty kill is 25th, but what are they first in? Penalty minutes. So that does not work out very well. Shooting percentage, 28%. Face-off percentage, 7th. And turnovers, they're tied with Utah for first in the league. On the goalie side of it, save percentage, 25th. Goals against, 23rd. They have 6 multi-goal losses this year already.
16.
That's what I said, right?
You said 6.
Oh, sorry. 16 multi-goal losses this year, 15 all of last year, and they're third in both shots on goal and shots allowed.
And so they have a captain and an all-star going at it where it gets out to the media.
I was gonna get to that. So local reporter, DJ, I don't know what he is. It's from the number 2 sports station.
Very well credentialed. Like, trust him. Trust him.
I don't know how well credentialed, but he said
everything he says is true.
He said there's a rift between Marchand and Pastrnak. So here's my take on this. Let me first say this. Marchand came out and shot it down, as did Pastrnak. Marchand, of course, had a great quote. He was like, wolves don't care what sheep think, which I thought was pretty funny because that's Marchand. But I can see both sides of it, right? If this guy actually was told this, because he's been right on a number of other things, then it's his job to report it, okay? So I give him that. If there was no rift and they're really all good, Pastrnak and Marchand, then of course they're going to come out and say this. But if there is a rift between Pastrnak and Marchand, they're going to come out and say this also. And then the Bruins PR doesn't make it any better by the very next day on Instagram, putting out all these pictures of Marchand and Pastrnak at practice side by side with huge fucking smiles. Like, all right, we're going to take another picture. You guys smile. It was so forced. It was so forced, but they're just not playing very well. It's like bad puck management, turnover after turnover after turnover. And they beat Florida because they get up for Florida like nothing else. And the goal that they let the tying goals get scored by Reinhart with like under 2 seconds left in the game on like a chip that went up and over. And then they scored in overtime because Pastrnak took a shot that rebounded off like 4 people and went in past Bobrovsky. So it's not like we're back. No, not really. And for all the people out there that are getting on Lindholm, you should be getting on Zadorov. The part of that trade that's going to hurt us is Zadorov, not Lindholm. Lindholm maybe does not putting up the points, but he's a fucking 200-foot player that should be playing second-line center. He's fucking legit, and he's playing great hockey. It's just whatever. There's so many people that are online like, oh, they're number 1 in penalty minutes. That's fucking cool. I'm like, no, buddy. It's not majors. It's not fighting. It's fucking stick checks and slashes. It's dumbness, you know. But your boy AJ Greer for Florida was out there mucking up trying to fight everybody in the Bruins the other day. It was pretty funny. Yeah. So yeah, I listen. The only bright spot is that hopefully if this season continues on the trend it is, then maybe someone up above the executive suite is going to be like, hey, instead of changing all the coaches and everything, maybe we should get rid of the people that are bringing in these players, and we'll get rid of Sweeney and Neely. So we'll see.
Maybe.
Oh. But up next for them is Tuesday night against Tampa Bay, which I will not be watching because you know what Tuesday night is, buddy?
Northeastern game.
It is the first round of the women's bean pot Tuesday night.
Nailed it.
So we'll talk about Northeastern because that's the team that's actually doing something. Northeastern, they won. I think they're undefeated since the calendar flipped, since they've been back. They haven't lost a game. Their freshman goalie, Lisa Janssen, she leads the nation in goals against and save percentage, and she has 10 wins to her NCAA career, and 5 of them are shutouts.
Dude, these other teams have to be so pissed off that every fucking year it's like, oh, Northeastern has the best goalie again.
And apparently there's a goalie coming in a few years that's just as good as this one. So the team also, because they are student athletes, the team has a 3.5 GPA for the fall semester as a unit. Pretty good. And their 2025 commit, how's this name? Striker Zablocki.
Pretty cool.
She led Canada at the U18 Worlds with 8-4-12 in 6 games played on the way to gold and was head and shoulders the best player in the tourney.
That's big.
Yeah. She's going to be filthy. So they play the second game Tuesday night because the Beanpot is at historic Matthews Arena. The first game is Harvard BU. The second game is BC Northeastern. And then the following week will be at the Guard.
All right.
So pretty good.
Pretty fucking good, man. Beer league hockey. All right, beer league hockey time. Boom.
Here it comes.
There it is.
Oh, I saw this online. Southwest Florida Junior Skunk Apes. I thought it said tapes. So, all right. This has got a lot going. All right. So first off, on the shoulder crest, that's the state flag of Florida, I believe.
Yep.
The jersey is blue, like a light navy blue with royal blue accent of palm trees, like in a shadow, like shadowed palm trees, with green and white on the arms and green and dark green around the neck, and palm trees. And the logo is ape, like a skunked ape. I like this one a lot, man. I would listen. I know I say this all the time, but hey, Casey, if you're listening, you can send me a sweatshirt of these guys. This is a good one.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I don't know. Did it say anything where they're out of or anything?
Just Florida, I guess.
Southwest. Yeah, that's all it says.
Yeah.
Don't look away. Look the part. Beauty unis. Yeah.
Beauty unis, man.
Those are nice ones.
We had a hell of a team win last game.
Nice.
Our second line scored all of our goals. It was pretty crazy. This guy Nuge had 2. Back and forth game. I lost it on the ref a little bit, just a little bit. Just this little skinny nerd who had not a fucking clue. He called me for a cross checking. I had one hand on my stick, and I just kind of like a kid made a curl away from me, and I had my hand on his hip, and I just kind of pushed out and just fell over like a fucking ton of
cross check with one hand on a stick.
No, and that's what I told him. And I'm like, I get to the box, I'm like, you're out of your mind. So they score. I skate back to the bench. I'm like, that's all you, man. Like, what are we doing here? Why are you even here? I get to the bench. They called another penalty. I'm like,
on you?
No, on somebody else. Oh. And now he's by our bench because we have a ref on our team, and he's like talking to him. And I'm right there, and I'm talking loud enough where he hears me. I'm like, dude, like, don't they make you take classes for this? And like, I'm waiting for it. I'm like, aren't there seminars that you can attend? And like, the whole team's fucking laughing and shit. I'm like, buddy, I wouldn't even go on Live Barn. Like, don't do it because like you'll quit. Like, you'll never ref again if you watch what you're doing right now. Like, he was terrible. So we end up getting up 5-4. We're killing at the end of the game. Classic. We have a face off in our D zone with like, I don't know, probably 16 seconds. And I go to take the face off, and the kid that I'm up against plays hockey at Clarkson right now on their club team. So like, he's young and in shape and like plays legit hockey. So they drop the puck, and I win it fucking clean right to the corner. They end up getting a shot on net. So now there's 8 seconds left to go. I skate to my defense. I'm like, hey man, I'm going to win it clean in this corner. Eat it in the corner. And he's like, what? I'm like, the puck's going to land in that corner. Put your skate next to it and don't fucking move. He goes, okay. They drop the puck, win it clean. He eats it. A couple of them get in there. He kind of passes it over to me. I whipped around the boards for the win. It was fucking so funny, dude. He's like, I can't believe you did that. I'm like, that was kind of nice. But yeah, big win. We got another game tonight at 8:00. We'll see how that goes. Nice. And we're no longer last in the league. Now we're second.
Look at you, buddy. Look at you.
Moving up in the world. So that's kind of what I have for that. What do you got for beer league? Oh, and then just like, shout out to George for letting us skate his rink. Shout out to Corinth Youth Hockey. It's been really, really nice playing all this hockey the last couple of weeks. So,
yeah.
I think that's kind of what I got.
So something happened for the first time ever. Our last game. It's never happened. No, yeah, I scored, but that happens quite often. No, I'm just kidding. This has never happened to me ever. And for anyone who's ever played with me on a team over the years is gonna understand as soon as I say this, they're gonna be like, no fucking way. I was the first guy to the rink.
Wow.
Never has ever happened. Okay. I walked in and there's no one in the locker room, and I hear someone walking in behind me, and I turn around and go, do you believe I'm the first one here? And it was the fucking rink kid. He's like, okay. I'm like, whatever. But then another guy walked in, Bill, a few minutes after. He's like, Brownie? I go, you're my witness. I was the first one here. So yeah, it was cool. I got there. I got to pick my seat. I taped my stick.
It's nice. Isn't it nice? It's
never been the first one there. I'm the guy who always walks in, and I'm looking like, who's going to move their bag for me to sit down? You know what I mean? I'm always
if late. I'm not like one of the first 3 there, I'll just be the last there because like I like picking my spot and shit. And if it gets to a point where I know I'm not gonna, I'm just like, what? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I'm never that early. So yeah, we had 2 games since we last talked. I think we won by 1 goal, and then we smoked the team the other night. I figured out how to take faceoffs, so that was pretty cool. The guy, when he drops it, he goes like this first, one of the guys. So I timed it, and the one kid after the game's like, he's like, what the fuck? I couldn't win a faceoff. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. I just got lucky. I'm not going to be like, oh, you know what you do.
So Nick Bonino on the Rangers last year, what he did is, so like, if you're right-handed, you have your forehand and your backhand, right? Mm-hmm. And what he does is he flips the stick over. So now your left hand is by the blade and your right hand's by like the knob. And he'll win it back on his backhand. So like it's
backwards.
Yeah. And that's what I did, and it fucking works. So if you ever need something like that, there you go.
We know what I started doing is I used to switch my hands. Now remember, I'm a defenseman that they asked to play forward, and now I'm playing center. So I'm like, I don't know. So I used to put my hands back, like both of them back. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that the right way? Can you see me? I used to do like this. So now what I've decided to do is I just keep my hand normal.
Yep.
And this way, the guy doesn't know if I'm going to go forwards or backwards.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So the last game we were playing, I had a little partial bit of a breakaway, and I took this kid wide, and he just tried to run me in the boards, and he literally got me in a headlock while I had the puck. He got me in a headlock, and my helmet spun all the way around, but it did. But I couldn't. If I shook it off, they would have blown the whistle. They would have blown the play dead.
Yeah.
You see, you know.
Yeah.
So my helmet was completely backwards, like this. I could barely see. I got around him because he fell, and I got a shot on net. And then after the game, during the game, their goalie was like, "Oh, he's a really good guy." I'm like, "Buddy, I'm getting so many slashes and hacks. I'm just pissed."
Yeah.
So we ended up winning like 8-2. I think I had like 3 or 4 assists because I was just pissed. I was skating way harder than I normally would have against that team.
Yeah.
I was just annoyed. But yeah, so no, it's good. We have a game tomorrow night that I'm missing for the Beanpot. But
All right.
I'm gonna put my bag in the truck just in case I get out early.
Do you have any heroes and zeros? You have a hero.
I have one hero.
All right, here we go. Heroes and zeros. All right.
So
I'm on the right side.
Oh, you have been all podcast. So much better. I feel much better. My hero is from a place down in South Carolina, from Columbia, South Carolina. There's this deli down there called Groucho's Deli that I used to go to a couple times a week. It was so good. And was right across from the bar that we hung out at. Just a great little area called down in 5 Points. 611 Hardin Street, Columbia, South Carolina. That's the Groucho's that I went to. There's a number of them. So we were talking about delis, and I started thinking about Groucho's because I haven't lived there for however long. And I got on their website. I was going to get some merch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any merch on the website. So I said, contact us. So I put a message in there, and I was like, hey, my name's Adam. I used to go in there 3 times a week. I was looking for some merch on the website. Can you show me, where it is, or do you have that available? I get an email from Bruce Miller from Groucho's saying that he thinks that I deserve merch. He didn't know I had a podcast and I was going to be doing this or anything.
Yeah.
This guy asked me for my shirt size. He sent me a merch package. It was a t-shirt, koozie, some stickers, keychain. I mean, it was right before the holidays. Did not have to do that. It was very much appreciated, but just what a stand-up guy. And that's not what you expect. And I wanted to make sure, listen, we have a bunch of listeners. If you're in the South Carolina or anywhere in that general vicinity, look up Groucho's Deli, go in, ask for Bruce, tell him you heard he's a great guy, and spend some money. Just a great guy, didn't have to do it. Wonderful gesture, and thanks, Bruce, and go to Groucho's. Their koozies say something like beating hangovers since 1941 or something like that. Yeah, just great. Oh, yeah. Just a great spot. Like I said, we used to go in there all the time. Great spot.
I like that story. Shout out to Bruce Miller. I think my hero is just my whole weekend. Like I played werewolf on Saturday night.
I saw your video.
Forever. So much fun. Sunday I went to breakfast with my grandma and my mom, and then went to the Corinth Youth Hockey place where a lot of nostalgia growing up there. They have like this little warming hut you get dressed in. It smells exactly the same as it smelled when I was a kid. It's fucking hilarious.
That's what you should have the morning skate invitational. You should get all the morning skate people to come into Corinth and go play.
That would be fucking wild.
Let's go play a night game at Corinth.
That would be sick.
We could play against their middle school team for charity.
That'd be something. It's I don't know, really well run organization. And today doing a podcast, got a game tonight. This is one of the best weekends I've had in a really long time. So
nice.
Oh, and I played hockey on Friday night, so it's been good. Although I just remembered, I don't know if I have I did my laundry, but I don't know if I grabbed it. So I'm gonna have to check that after this. I keep all my hockey stuff, like my jock and like my undershirt and socks in a laundry bag, and I always put it in the wash and wash it. And I know it's done, but I don't think it's here. So I got to figure that out.
Where would it be?
At my mom's house.
Oh, no.
Probably a good chance it's there. Fuck.
Potatoes in your skates, get you ready. It's that time of year when I'm going to the rink with my skates up by the heater too on the truck.
Dude, okay, so I knew I was playing hockey Friday night, and I was like, okay, so I got to bring my bag in and take my skates out of it. Because I keep my skates in my truck. They're going to be cold and wet. And like, I don't want that. So I air out my bag Thursday night. I worked Friday and we were playing Friday night. So Thursday night, I took my skates out of my bag, whatever. I wake up Friday morning to go to work. I'm like, oh my God, what does that smell? My hockey bag smelled so fucking bad. But I didn't have time to like do anything. So I went to work and then Dave was coming over. I'm like, hey, my apartment's probably going to smell pretty bad. So we get there, wasn't great, lit a couple candles. I'm all good now, but like
you don't have like a patio or something at your apartment, like a balcony or something?
It's cold outside. So it's like,
but put your stuff out there, it won't smell, and then you bring it in to warm up.
Yeah, I could have. I don't know. It is what it is, but
you don't spray your stuff off after games?
Spray it now.
Like with like Febreze or Lysol or something?
No. No, normally like if I play in the summer or some shit, I'll just open my bag and leave it outside and it just dries.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do we have any 3 stars? I don't think we do we?
No, we didn't talk about it, so we'll have to do it. We have to do it next time.
All right,
Bruce Miller's my star.
Bruce Miller.
Top 3 delis. Groucho's. This place, Zaftig's over in Natick, and the place in Connecticut with the really good pickles that I can't think of right now.
There was this place called Roma's, and then they had a new management. Now I forget their fucking name now. But when they were Roma's, they were good. Now I think I forget the name, but they stink now. But Roma's was my number 1, Spring Street Deli number 2, and then those are probably the only 2 places I really go to.
Rains Deli is my 3rd.
That's another one.
I lost you. What was it?
Just Meats.
Just Meats?
Yeah.
Is it a gay bar?
No, it's just a deli. Really good deli. So, all right. What else do we got?
That's it, man. That's it. We got the Bean Pot. We got the Bruins and Rangers both hanging into that. What are the Rangers? 4th?
I don't know.
5th place?
I think probably 5th.
Both struggling for that wild card. And the Boston Fleet are climbing back up in the standings. Oh, did you see that Frankel faced Phillips?
No.
Yeah, it was the first time they've ever faced each other.
Who won?
Frankelstein versus the Great Wall of Gwyneth.
Who won?
Frankel did in overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it was overtime. Yeah. Good game, though. Oh, and our old friend Katie Knoll is getting a pretty regular shift. 3rd, 4th line, but she's playing.
Good.
She's out there chipping and chopping. Oh, my God. All those penalties at Hockey East are positive plays in the PWHL.
Yeah, right. All right, man. Well, for our listeners, I think Brownie has one more thing he has to say.
Yeah, listen, if you're at the Bean Pot, say hello. And if you're with Jerome McGinley, bring him over and tell him that I'd like to meet him. That'd be great.
Come on, Jerome. Come hang out, man.
Come hang out. I think I might have access to a suite. So if you want to hang out in the suite, buddy.
Oh, man.
That sounded way creepy, didn't it?
Hey, Jerome, come to my suite. Yeah, a little bit. We're going to end it now. Thank you guys for tuning in.
We go live.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.